tens of thousands of people who have reported losing money through the online payment system Zelle. Over the past 18 months, 4 major banks reported Zelle fraud cases of 192,878.
If they trick you, if you get tricked, then you are going to be out of that money, most likely.
Under federal law, when a crook steals your credit card information and racks up charges, you are not held responsible. But in this high-tech age, many crooks' chosen method of fraud is Zelle. The big difference here, you are not guaranteed protection.
I'm looking at my account and all of a sudden money is being transferred to someone I have no idea who they are.
2 transactions totaling $9,000. When his bank denied his claim, saying it appeared he authorized the transfers, he fought back.
All right, so Zelle has been wrought with fraud, right? It's the largest kind of peer-to-peer transferring app today, just because like a consortium of like 7 different banks have partnered to create it, and they all basically shoehorn it inside of their apps. And so it's the easiest way to transfer. Like I use it personally for like contractors sometimes, and like my landscaper. Pay close attention of where your money's going, who has access to it.
If I let that go, that's basically saying, well, yeah, you know, I'm responsible for this, and I'm not.
At first, Chase Bank stood behind its denials, but I kept digging. 6 months later, the Pinellas Park Police Department found a suspect in New York, and Chase relented, giving Schaefer every penny back.
News Channel 8, Shannon, you're professional and tenacious.
As you get older, your time becomes more valuable. And what a waste of time some of these things are. I've had issues where I just let go, like UPS, but you know, where, you know, package was lost, and they make it so hard for you to solve the problem. And this guy, I mean, he was very, like they say, tenacious. It was enough money for it to be worth his time. But if your time is worth quite a bit, are you really going to spend hours and hours and days and to retry to get like, you know, a few $100s back? It's a question.
Tens of thousands of people who have reported losing money through the online payment system Zelle. For some, the bad guys hack into their devices. Others fall for tricks and unknowingly.
All right, so that's the key. If somebody hacks into your device, then you will be reimbursed. All you have to do is, and they'll mention in the video, I think, that you can file a complaint with, there's a number for Zelle specifically, or with your bank. If they trick you, if you get tricked, then you are going to be out of that money, most likely. So yeah, nobody's really looking out for you. This is another reason why it's good to use credit cards, because they have a little bit more favorable terms, and they will reimburse you real quick. And plus, it's not your money. You have a 25-day grace period.
Allow the crook to use Zelle to transfer money. Right now, Zelle fraud falls in a gray area. While some victims eventually get their money back, many don't. Tika Bagar is one of those people. A crook pretended to be Duke Energy and swindled her out of $278. Her bank denied her fraud claim.
They told me, yeah, we don't refund on Zelle. Why don't you? Didn't you get their bank? Don't you know who the person is? You are dealing with a bank. The fact that they even put it on their website tells me that they entrust in them.
Yeah, so listen, I've gotten these messages myself. Let me know in the comments, have you gotten these like voicemail, like calls, or have you gotten text messages from purported institutions like, you know, the power company or the phone company, and they say, hey, you're late on a bill? Like, I've gotten that a couple times. So I can see again how they would fall for that. And I don't know what the answer to this is. Do you think it's their fault? You just got to check the account. Like if something like that happens, you got to go back, log into the account, double check it. Just you have to take that extra step.
A recent congressional report showed that over the past 18 months, 4 major banks reported Zelle fraud cases of 192,878. That represents total losses of $213 million. And of all of those cases, banks reimbursed consumers in just 3,500 cases.
All right, so your odds of getting reimbursed are like next to nothing, right? It's almost zero. That's a lot of cases. That just shows how big the user base is.
Winsky, Senior Director of the Federal Consumer Program at PIRG, is among those pushing for banks to treat Zelle fraud like credit card fraud and reimburse consumers.
If the banks were responsible, they'd figure it out like that. They'd figure out how to make it less probable that there's going to be fraud.
In the past year, consumer advocates and some in Congress have called out Zelle and the banks that own it, seeking more protections.
You see that list of banks? You got Bank of America, BB&T. I think they changed to another bank. Capital One, Chase, Wells Fargo, US Bank, PNC. Those are some major banks there. They're all in it together here. Yeah. So listen, someone made the point. I think Nino, you're making some good points in the chat here. You said younger people don't fall for this. It seems like 50 plus years of age. Yeah. Listen, you're less tech savvy. You know, you kind of take what you see and you just at face value oftentimes. And this is kind of an age old thing. We've all seen reports from, scammers calling in to elderly people and taking advantage that way. Listen, everybody's got to be verified. Listen, you cannot just make transactions and send payments without asking questions and verifying. You got to see receipts every time. I always say this, like before I make a full payment, I pay one time just to make sure I'm sending it to the right person, and then I send the rest of the payment. I think that's a really good practice, just because there's no safeguards. I violated what she said because she said don't pay a business, and I definitely paid my landscaper via Zelle, but I haven't had an issue myself.
Credit card or debit card.
So Shannon, if money is stolen this way from you, is there any way that you can increase your chance of getting that money back?
Well, there are some ways that you can increase your chances of getting your money back. You need to report it right away. You need to report it to law enforcement. You need to report it to the bank. You need to report it to the FBI. The chances of getting your money back are far greater if you get all three of those entities involved right away.
It's a lot.
Now, speaking of reporting, if you don't know, there's like a bunch of ways you can report. I mean, it's kind of daunting. You can report to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. There's an FBI number that I was just informed of in this post. Your attorney general locally, your AG, might help you. So there's a plethora of ways that you can help out the situation and see who's going to work best for you.